Holy smokes, everybody, it happened. The AMC conversion approved. In my last video on this saga, I broke down what AMC's board had pulled off, basically giving over 60% in voting rights to the APE shareholders, much of which just have the mirrored voting power for whatever basically the board wants. And boy, this road is so bumpy, Mr. McKay. I'm bumping around. That kind of sounds a little funny. But anyway, so there we go. Now, here's what's going on. Look, in my last video, if you watch it on AMC, I discussed how there's potentially a play to buy calls on APE because all that was going to happen was they were going to revise the agreement, the settlement agreement, and it'd probably get approved. Even though it's still a ripoff to AMC to some extent, in the short term, it would get approved. And that's exactly what just happened. The Ape conversion got approved. That means APE will merge with AMC. As a result, AMC is down about 25-26%. APE is up somewhere around 24 to 25%. In the longer term, this is actually good for AMC. AMC needs to raise money. Ultimately, the reality is you've got thousands, tens of thousands of people working for AMC theaters. They need to raise money. They need to get out of debt. If they want a chance at surviving, they need to raise this money. So the way you do that is, unfortunately, you dilute shareholders. Shareholders have been resistant to that, hence the scheme to do it through the APE, the AMC preferred units, and essentially create a mirrored voting option where the board is able to say, if you don't vote, you vote our way. As a result, now the board has control to dilute shareholders to raise money since their first scheme didn't work, which was diluting APE. That failed because they were too slow. We saw that coming back when APE was $8, and then it fell under $1. Now, here's the reality. AMC is going to fall. It will merge probably in a month or so with APE. And AMC will have to climb its way out of penny stock status now that it's going to be under $5 for a while. The way to do that is to start paying off debt, lower that interest expense over $1 million a day, if I recall correctly from the last time I looked at their earnings, and really focus on growing your value add at the movie theaters. What can you do to get people back into movie theaters? Is it IMAX? I don't know. Those IMAX cameras are very expensive, and few of the theaters have that. It's probably more box office hits. The downside of that is writer's strike. So you're in a situation where you do have a lot of headwinds in the movie theater industry. Streaming wars are becoming more rampant, where it is becoming harder to compete. Obviously, there's nothing like watching a movie on a big screen, but I'll tell you, I've got family in Germany in the movie theater industry, and they're not loving it right now. They're trying, at least from the last time I talked with them, to do sort of events at the movie theaters. Whether it's, movie and disco, movie and beer. We'll serve you, food and beer while you're watching your movie, which I actually think is, a good direction. We just don't know the appetite of that for people in America compared to just being at home and watching a movie. Frankly, you can get a 72-inch Amazon Fire TV for like $500 now. Not an ad, by the way. An ad, by the way, is getting financial advice by going to StackHack. Get stacked with StackHack by going to stackhack.com. Now providing licensed financial advice. Actual financial advice. Anyway, so look, if you're in it for the long term, I wish you the best. I do think that ultimately AMC needs to raise money. This is what they need to do. The board is doing what they have to keep the company alive. Otherwise, they'll go bankrupt like Cineworld. So this will create a lot of pain in the short term. The writing was well on the wall, though, and we broke it all down in the last video. The conversion has now officially been approved, and now I think probably the worst is over for the short term. However, it will get even worse if they don't pay down that debt rapidly and start expanding their profit. That is going to be key. So even if you think now the worst is over, the worst could actually still be ahead if movie theaters don't get their act together and become substantially more profitable than where they sit now. Anyway, I'm traveling with HouseHack. We've got one more state to visit. Got a couple offers written over here, so we're really excited. And I think there's our bird. No, is that ours? I can't tell. I can't see that far. Is it? Is it? Is it? All right, whatever. All right. Anyway, we'll see you in the next one. Thanks so much. And hey, if you pulled off some calls on AP, leave a comment down below. We'll see you soon. Goodbye. Oh, there it is. There's the pee-pee.